Hello, hello, welcome to another video. Today's video is going to be about cherry. You know how much I love cherry. I'm very excited to do this video. I've been planning this video for such a long time and I've decided to structure it like this. We have 15 fragrances with cherry notes in them, so I've decided to do a top starting with number 15 and ending with number 1. But let's not ignore the elephant in the room. I do have a new haircut, as you can see. Those of you who follow me on Instagram already knew that. But anyway, let's jump into the fragrances. Number 15 is Red from Giorgio, Beverly Hills. I spoke about this fragrance before and I told you I'm not a big fan of it. And that is because this fragrance has a vintagey feel to it. It's not a vintage fragrance. Obviously, it's a new fragrance, but it has that old school type of smell. And those of you who are familiar with these smells know what I'm talking about. It has so many notes. So many notes. It has a bunch of florals. It has woody smells. It has, I think, even resins. And there is a cherry note. This is why it is in this video. This is why it's number 15, because the cherry in here, to me, it's not really present. I don't get the cherry. I know some of you told me that you do get the cherry with this one. Truth be told, I did not convince myself to wear this one, like fully wear it, like, you know, 10 sprays or whatever. I only wore it on my arms to test it. I am not a fan. It might be in my next declutter. Could be. But for those of you, like I said, who do have a taste for these like vintagey smelling fragrances, classic, ladylike in a very classic way, I would say that this might be nice. It's a floral fragrance with some woody aspects. It has a soapy clean nuance in there that I get, especially in the opening. So if you like the idea of that, it's a very affordable fragrance. So give it a try or just blind buy it because, like I said, I don't know. I paid $15, something like that. So very affordable. And I think the quality is here if you enjoy this style. Number 14 is Midnight Fantasy. I hope I'm not saying the name wrong. Midnight Fantasy from Britney Spears. I'm not a big fan of these celebrity fragrances. Most of them kind of smell the same. Some are different, it's true. This one, I would say it's kind of in that category where everything kind of smells juvenile, the same, fruity floral. This is a fruity floral fragrance, yes. It has a cherry note. It also has a plum note and I believe another fruit. I don't remember the other fruit. You don't get much of that cherry. There are some florals in here. There's iris. I know there's freesia. There is vanilla. This fragrance to me smells like a child's shampoo, like kids shampoo. It smells fruity. It smells a little bit floral, sweet. It's a very uplifting fragrance, very juvenile though, young, let's say. It's very pleasant. So if I'm washing my hair with something that smells like this and then obviously I smell like that, it's not going to bother anyone. It's not going to bother me. I like the smell, but it's not a very unique smell. It's not a very complex smell. And you don't get much of the cherry. That's why it's number 14, because I think you get more of the plum than of the cherry in here. And yeah, this is not about cherry. The cherry is in there somewhere, lost, but this fragrance is overall pleasant. Number 13 is from Guerlain. It is a surprise, as in not a pleasant surprise. It is cherry wood. I got this fragrance blind. I blind bought it thinking that it will be great. Honestly, I had high expectations. And I have to tell you that it's, for me, it's sort of a fail. It's a fail. Let's put it that way. I do not enjoy this fragrance. So this is supposed to be about cherry, wood, leather, and rose. It's a combination that has been done many times. Sometimes it can be a good combination, other times, like this time, it can be underwhelming, a little bit disappointing. It's not overall a horrible fragrance, but to me, it doesn't speak to me. I don't know. It doesn't do it for me. The cherry in here is so faint that I don't think it's worth being in the name of this fragrance, okay? I'm not crazy about leather. I mean, leather in the right amount, the right type of leather, okay, it's great. And you will see, we have some leather cherry fragrances in here that are great, but we'll get to that later. But this one, for this price, this is an expensive fragrance. I'm happy I didn't get a full bottle because this was a partial, so obviously I wore it a few times. I'm not just speaking after just sampling it once. No, this is not something I like. Like I said, the cherry in here is trying to be a dark cherry, but it's kind of absent. The leather, the wood is just, I don't know, this mix doesn't do it for me. I've tried the Oud Nude launched together with this one. That's a nice fragrance, but it's similar to another much cheaper one. But it's pleasant. It's pleasant. I wish I had that one instead of this one. I will declutter this one. And like I said, that's why it's number 13. I was thinking about putting this at number 15 actually, but I do enjoy it slightly more if I have to choose, slightly more than red, and I feel like it's a bit more about cherry than Midnight Fantasy, and a bit more complex, and yeah, smelling a bit more sophisticated, let's say. I mean, it should smell extremely sophisticated and expensive and everything for the price you're paying, but yeah, it's a bit of a disappointment, unfortunately. Number 12 is again a very affordable fragrance that I got. I just thought, okay, I looked at the notes and I thought, okay, I'm gonna buy this. It was again around $15, maybe less, maybe 12. It's from Guess and it's called Seductive Red. For this price, I feel like this fragrance is great. If this was 10 times more expensive, then maybe my opinion would shift a little bit. But this is about cherry, so you can actually smell the cherry in here. It's about cherry, it's about almond, and it has, some people do compare it to Cloud, which at first I thought, okay, why? I don't see it. But then in the dry down, you do get a little bit of that burnt sugar, just a little bit, but still this is airy, it's sweet, it's feminine, it's a very pleasant fragrance, and that's why it's number 12. I rechecked my list here, I wrote it down because obviously, you know, when I start making lists, I will say another number and so on. But we have a system here. So this is number 12 for a reason. I don't feel like it's the most unique, the most complex, the most, but for this price, this is worth the money. This is a very pleasant fragrance. And I don't think anyone will be bothered if you smell like this. Number 11 is the second fragrance that we have from Guerlain, and this time it's La Petite Robe Noire Black Perfecto. I have a tiny bottle. I do not wear this one a lot, lately at least. The cherry in here is not the most amazing cherry. Okay, it's not a bad fragrance. It's a good fragrance. It's a really good fragrance. But the cherry in here, I don't know, it's not my favorite cherry. Overall, I find this fragrance to be interesting, especially for a designer fragrance. I like it. Like I said, I don't wear it much. That's why I put it here, number 11. I don't think it's bad. This is, if you don't know this fragrance, so this is a combination of almond, cherry, there is some leather in here as far as I know, licorice and rose. So if you think about it, it could sort of go in the same direction as wood cherry. I don't think it does. This is better. This is La Petite Robe Noire is definitely better in my opinion, way less expensive compared to the other one. But you know, if you had to choose, I would say go with this one. Number 10 is a fragrance from Kayali, and no, it's not burning cherry this time. We'll have burning cherry later. a little bit later, but this time it's invite only, because yes, invite only has a cherry note, but this fragrance is not mainly about cherry. It's not built around the cherry. There is some cherry in there, but it's really not the main player. That's why it's number 10. So I do enjoy this fragrance. This fragrance is mostly about tobacco. It has some amber, some cinnamon, some rose. It's a nice combination. It's a fall combination, I would say. Fall, winter, kind of a warm scent, cozy even, but also a little bit sensual, I would say. And you can layer it. I actually layered this one to Burning Cherry. I layered this one with Vanilla 28 as well. These are the 3 Kayali fragrances I have at the moment in my collection. Before I had more. And yes, it works. It works with Burning Cherry because it amplifies that cherry note in a very nice way. So this fragrance is number 10 because, like I said, the cherry is somehow in the background. And I think the idea with the layering, I mean, I know that they're supposed to be layered, just like Jo Malone fragrances. But the idea, I think it came from Mona, from Kayali. I think she commented on one of my videos in the past and said, oh, you should try layering it. And I actually did, and it was good. And I just realized I showed you the bottle like this the whole time. It's actually like this. Yeah. Number 9 is a cherry I really like, but I don't wear a lot, and I'll explain it why. So this cherry is not your usual cherry. It's not syrupy. It's not smelling like lip balm or like cough syrup. No, this raw cherry from Terrence Hughes is what I could call a dark cherry, a very dark cherry, leaning masculine. So for those of you men out there who think, oh, all cherry fragrances are just for the ladies because they smell so sweet and they smell so feminine. Well, in this case here, we have a cherry fragrance that you as a man can wear. And even if you are not someone who enjoys sweet fragrances, this is something that you could try. This is about cherry, about tonka, dark chocolate, and you can actually smell it. It has wood, it has woody notes, as far as I can remember the notes, and even amaretto. So it has this, a little bit of boozy feel in there. Not too much, everything is done really nicely in here. I like this fragrance, but I cannot say that it's a fragrance I would like to smell daily on myself. Because I don't think it's that wearable. I think it's like a special occasion type of fragrance. Because it's darker, because it leans more masculine to me. So this is why it's number 9, but I do feel like it's a very unique fragrance, and yeah, it's a complex fragrance, unique, and it's not similar to anything else that I have, any other cherry fragrance. Number 8 is Feve Delicieuse from Dior, and this fragrance is not about cherry. It has a sour cherry note in there, but this fragrance to me is about tonka. It's a very inviting, delicious fragrance that is great for this time of the year, and I think it's already a classic. So if you haven't smelled it yet, I think you should smell it. I don't know, who knows when it will be discontinued, because they have a habit of doing that. Number 7 is the king of the cherry fragrances, and that is, of course, Lost Cherry, because we have to give it that. It's so hyped, so popular, and so expensive, but it kills me the fact that it doesn't have such good longevity for the price. So I wish it was stronger. I wish it was, let's say, less cough syrupy. But overall, I mean, let's just face it, it's a great fragrance, right? Of course, it wouldn't hurt if it was more affordable. Now, would it? There are so many dupes out there. Some are good, some are less good. So this fragrance, if you haven't smelled it, but it's hard not to smell this fragrance. I mean, it's really hard with so many dupes out there. It has almost as many dupes as Baccarat Rouge and Creed Aventus, right? Oh, I think it's there. It's like almost equal. So this is about, obviously, cherry, almond, vanilla, resins. It has a little bit of a boozy feel in there, yes. So overall, it's a great fragrance. Like I said, I wish it would last longer. On me, it doesn't last that much. I know not everyone is dealing with the same problem, but I am. Number 6 goes to Venom of Love from Navitus. I almost said Venom of Love from Paulina Char, because this is her first fragrance. And obviously I blind bought this, so I'm gonna start with the negative. I have something negative to say about it, and then I have something positive to say. So when I first sprayed it, for the first few minutes, and not just when I first sprayed it, but each time I wore it, for the first few minutes, I get a very alcoholic smell from it. So it's not just the alcohol evaporating, obviously that's normal, but I get a little bit of a harsh alcoholic smell from it that I personally don't enjoy. Again, someone else might enjoy and might think that's a plus. After that point, when that's gone, I love the fragrance. So this is about cherry, it's about chocolate. I think it has some vanilla, even some resins. I'm not entirely sure, but it smells deep. It is a little bit similar to a Lost Cherry. It is. There is kind of the same vibe, especially in the opening, but then it becomes a little bit darker because of that chocolate. And it becomes a true gourmand, I would say, this one. It's a very nice fragrance. It lasts. It's quite strong, actually. It's quite strong. So there. I said the negative, but there is positive as well. So I do enjoy it overall. I find it to be a really nice fragrance. It has a good price as well. So there's that. Number 5 spot is Burning Cherry from Kayali. I have a dedicated video. I will post it here. I won't get into too much detail about this one. This is similar to Lost Cherry from Tom Ford, but it's slightly woodier and darker. And like I was saying with the other one, with invite only, I think they have good value. Kayali's fragrances have good value because they can be layered. You can layer any fragrance, obviously, but usually you cannot layer too complex fragrances because you would get a big mess in there. But this fragrance is being quite simple, let's say, in a good way. You can layer them and create something new and interesting. So yes, in this case, this is a good fragrance. I have this tiny bottle. If I'll finish it, maybe at some point I might get a bigger one. Number 4 is Cherry Saffron from Tabbeau. I've mentioned this fragrance before. This is done in the same style as Tom Ford Lost Cherry. It's more affordable. It's actually stronger, which was such a nice surprise to have this last for a long time on me. It's a fragrance that is slightly more masculine than Lost Cherry. So for those of you who are looking for a little bit more masculine, or unisex, let's say, it's not masculine, but it's a true unisex in this case, fragrance for a good price, and you know, you'll love that Lost Cherry DNA. I think this is a good option. We're down to the top 3 cherry fragrances, and number 3 is something that I've recently discovered. And when I say recently, I mean a few days ago. I've been hearing about this fragrance for a while, and I've decided to get a partial. So this is like, it's a big bottle, but it only has about 20 ml in it. So just a little bit in it, just to test, basically. Well, it's a bit more than just a vial, like just a sample, but it's good. And I will say that I was very pleasantly surprised to discover Duchessa from Gritti. I think this is how you read it. This is the bottle. I'm not even sure what's, I think this is the front of the bottle. It has a very heavy cap. So this fragrance is a sexy, rich smelling gourmand that has a lot of cherry in it, but it's as if Baccarat Rouge had a baby with a juicy cherry, and we got this. Yes, for those of you who don't like that Baccarat Rouge type of smell, there is a little bit in here. There is some in here. It's not a lot. This is not a dupe for Baccarat Rouge or anything. But I was smelling it, and I found myself thinking, oh, this is similar to Baccarat Rouge. This is similar even to Instant Crush. There is something, a little bit in there. Not entirely, but there is a little bit of that feel. And again, covered in a lot of delicious cherry. So yes, I think this is worth a full bottle. It's a very nice fragrance. I think it's quite expensive. I mean, I don't know, I got a partial, so obviously I think it's quite expensive. So yeah, I only wore it once. In terms of lasting power, I think it's decent, but yeah, I didn't really pay attention to that. So I'll wear it again and I will report back. Number 2, the second spot in this video, in this top, goes to Rouge Smoking from BDK. This is again a cherry done differently. It's not the same style as Lost Cherry. It's not the same style as the fragrance prior to it. This is different. This smells like cherry Coke. It does. And maybe you would think, oh, and why would you want to smell like cherry Coke? Well, I don't know. To me, it's a very pleasant, addictive type of smell. It makes me feel good wearing it. I feel like it's a very cozy scent as well. It has a powdery feel to it. So especially in the dry down, that cherry with the almond, with the vanilla. I think there's heliotrope in there. I don't know. There is this powdery, comfy, cozy type of smell that I really, really like. Again, I don't think this is a safe choice. I know so many people out there who don't like it. Some actually hate it, especially if you don't like sweet, powdery scents. Yeah, this is not going to be for you, but I really like it. I find it to be more feminine than masculine. It's a unisex, of course, but it kind of leans feminine for me. It's not a beast when it comes to how long it lasts. It's not, but it's not bad either. So, you know, I've been drinking it quite a bit. Yeah, I had this bottle for a while. So you might be wondering now, okay, so what's number 1? Is there any other cherry scent out there that is worth number 1 in this top? Well, I will answer and say yes, there is. I've discovered this not so long ago, actually a little bit longer ago than I've discovered Duchessa, the one, the number 3 in the top. And when I've discovered this Cherry Punk from room 1015, I said, yes, this is it. This is the right amount of cherry with the right amount of leather and the right type of leather, because I'm not always a fan of leather. So this is a cherry fragrance mixed with leather. This is what I get from it, like mostly. There are some other notes in there, but these two are the main players, and they are in the right amount, the right kind in the right amount. Because, you know, you get a lot of cherry fragrances, and sometimes you wish, oh, I wish the cherry was stronger. I wish the woodiness was stronger. I wish this was more amped. In this case, it's perfect. It lasts. It brought me so many compliments. I didn't wear this so many times because I didn't get it so long ago. But each time I wore it, someone asked me, what is this? You smell so good. This is delicious. It's my leather jacket type of scent. And I like it that it's not going in a very, very masculine area with that leather. It's staying right in the middle of the unisex. I can totally see this on a guy. So the cherry in here, if you were to just take the cherry out and just look at it, it is quite similar to the Lost Cherry in Tom Ford, but then you have that leather. So then you have that darkness, not too much, not too little. It's just perfect. So yes, and like I said, a unisex, and that's really important for me. Sometimes I'm just not in the mood to wear something overly feminine, overly girly, and this is my bad girl type of scent. Yeah, I really love this one. When I discovered it, I was really happy about it. I'm gonna need a bigger bottle because I blind bought this, so I'm gonna need a bigger one because I know I will definitely use this one. This was it. This was my cherry top fragrances. If you have any other favorite cherry fragrances, please put it in the comments and I will give them a try if I can, if I find them. I'm always looking for another cherry fragrance. I love this note. It's one of my favorite notes in fragrances. So yes, I find it to be very interesting and quite sensual, actually. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next week for another video. Take care. Bye-bye.